Good morning and happy Friday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation. We are coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. Happy Friday to you on this 6th day of March. Can't believe we are 6 days into March already. I feel like New Year's just happened. It didn't. It did. 3 months ago. Crazy, right? How fast time goes. Time flies when you're killing Ayatollahs. Speak put a meme up today, and with he collaborated with Matt Brown early this morning, which is always a recipe for disaster. Whack-a-mole is the new game that Donald Trump is playing. You know, Iran is refusing to name now their supreme loser. It's Khamenei's son, but they're refusing to officially announce that the new supreme loser is Khamenei's son because they don't want him to get bombed. Apparently, too, Israel this morning bombed a bunker, like the emergency bunker for Iranian leadership that Khamenei was supposed to get to, and he didn't get there in time. But Israel apparently bombed that too. So anybody who was in there, gone. He gone. So that's cool. Did you see, by the way, we're going to start here. We'll talk about this DHS, big shakeup at DHS. And I want to get one thing, because this happens every time. I want to get one thing out of the way real quick. Kristi Noem was not promoted. Okay? Okay? You want to play semantics and say, she wasn't fired because she still has a job. Okay. Fine. She wasn't fired. She still has a job. Good. She is the special envoy to the Shield of America. What is that?
Nothing.
It's not. Look, maybe it's nothing personal with Noem. I didn't have any complaints about the job she was doing. Apparently, there was this ad campaign that the Trump didn't sign off on. But let me just give you the recipe here. So she pushed through a $220 million ad campaign that her boss did not sign off on, and you think she got promoted? In what world? If that's the case, then Donald Trump has lost a step. He obviously didn't. You think there are people who think, no, she got promoted. Sean, you don't understand. She got promoted. What? Guys, it is okay if Trump removes somebody from their position. I'm not dooming or blackpilling. I'm just giving you the truth. She got fired. Okay? It's all right. It's okay. I promise. So I saw that yesterday. She didn't get fired. She got promoted. You really think she spent $220 million without her boss's approval and he said, good job, here's She went from being the superintendent of the school district to cleaning toilets. Okay, she still has a job. But she has a much less important, much less prominent job now. And to Trump's credit, I think the reason why he did that and quote unquote reassigned her is because he didn't want I think he likes Noem. I think he wants to maintain a good relationship with Noem and didn't want to just outright can her or dump her because she didn't do a bad job, but she made some mistakes and she needed to be out of there. If I was Donald Trump and found out that one of my subordinates ran a $220 million ad campaign that I didn't sign off on, who do you think you are? Goodbye. Okay? She was fired. She was demoted. It wasn't a promotion. I'm not taking anything away from her. It's not personal. I don't have a problem with Kristi Noem on a personal level. Are there weird rumors about her and Lewandowski, which I'm pretty sure is like an open secret now? Fine. The ad campaign thing, no good. The story about the dog on the ranch, I don't like it. I know that's, the norm. I don't think that norm is great, but whatever. The border is secure. Great. That's DHS. Mass deportation is great. That's DHS. But onward we go. And I think Mark Wayne Mullen is going to be an upgrade at the position. I think he's a tough guy. I think he's a smart guy. And that's where we're at. But please stop with the coping. Oh, she wasn't fired. She was promoted. This is all 5D. Stop. Just stop. Okay? Everyone said the same thing about Mike Waltz, right? After Signalgate. He exposed the administration to, a ton of bad PR several months in, and he was moved to some position. I don't even know. Yeah, he still has a job, but he was moved out of National Security Advisor. That gave that job to Marco Rubio, and now Mike Waltz is doing something for the administration, allegedly. Who knows? He was demoted. She was demoted. Were they fired? No. They still have jobs. Fine. You want to go letter of the law, semantics. You could play semantics all day long. The bottom line is, in my opinion, she was fired. She was demoted. Okay? That's that. Again, it's nothing personal with Noem. It's just, I think it's a very lame cope. And I understand people are like, oh, because here's on the other side of the cope, there's the left-wing media and the doomers as well. But these left-wing, roaches that come out of hiding every time something happens. Oh, the administration's in chaos. The administration chaos. It's everything's falling apart. Just shut up. Oh my gosh, be quiet. Quiet, piggy. Be quiet. This is not chaos. Matter of fact, I actually like when there are changes at positions. Now, continuity is good. If you're doing a good job, then you don't deserve to be moved around. But there is a phrase that usually, it's like the best companies are always hiring because they're always looking to get better. And in this case, Donald Trump felt like he could do better than Kristi Noem. If I was Donald Trump and my Homeland Security Secretary started spending hundreds of millions of dollars that, by the way, featured her in an ad to, encourage illegals to self-deport that I didn't sign off on. It's one thing if I signed off on it and said, okay, yeah, I said you could run the ad. It's on me if anything happens. She did it without his approval. You can't do that. So, I'm fine with upgrading at positions and always trying to get better. The administration has done that. The first Trump administration, they did that. And I was waiting to see what happened now. Let's see. But the narrative that the administration's falling apart or that there's chaos and all that, that's also not true. One of the negatives is that he poached another senator that's been pretty strong for us in the Senate. And Oklahoma's governor is going to be able to will be tasked with the duty of finding a replacement for Markwayne Mullin. And Oklahoma's governor is not necessarily the most MAGA person out there, so we will see what happens there. Okay, but that's it. She lied under oath. She had bad testimony. She did some. That's it. That's it. You got to get rid of somebody like that, and he did. All right. I know, and last thing I'll say to the folks who are coping over this, right, who are like, oh, it was a promotion. If Donald Trump removed Pam Bondi as the Attorney General and assigned her a new role as the special attorney for the envoy of the Shield of America, would you consider it a promotion or would you consider it Bondi being fired? Okay, come on. It's nothing personal against Noem. She was fired. She was fired. All right. So, as Meemaw confirms, the governor of Oklahoma is not a MAGA ally. So that's the only negative that I see here. But that's okay. It's all right. We're going to get through it. Trump knows what he's doing. And again, I think he's always trying to make his administration better. And you take that, if you take that approach into business and all of a sudden one of your top leaders in your business isn't leading anymore or is kind of running astray and afoul, then you have to replace him. And maybe you say, okay, I don't want to fire you. You did really good work for us. Here's this, quote unquote position. So was she fired? She was fired from her role as DHS secretary and then given a new role. Yes, she was fired. Okay. That's just it. You can play semantics all you want, but it's not doing anybody any good. All right, let's get to a word from our friends over at OFP Farms. It's OFPfarms.com, OFPfarms.com. Oscar Foxtrot Papa Farms. OFP Farms is preparing to unveil their most exquisite box yet in honor of America's 250th birthday. You can pre-order their box now. Secure the stunning limited edition box at a 20% off discount by using the code America250. This beautiful box features their finest packaging, premium products alongside custom design elements, ensuring you will not find a more stunning box anywhere else. That is at OFPFarms.com. It's Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com, OFPFarms.com. If you use the promo code America250, you will get 20% off of the America 250 OFP Farms gift box. Scan the QR code, bottom right-hand side of your screen. You see it right there. Gets you to the screen, gets you to the place where you can pre-order that gift box at a 20% discount, 20% off, OFPFarms.com. If you don't want to order the box today, I don't know why. Maybe you've already done it. But maybe you need to top off some of your favorite OFP Farms products. Go to OFPFarms.com, and at checkout, if you use the code Sean, which is just my first name, SHAWN, you can get 10 with promo code Sean, 10% off at promo code Sean off of products like Goat Kisses Lip Balm, their soaps, their beard oils, etc., etc. OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean for 10% off your entire order, and promo code America250 for 20% off of the pre-order of the America 250 box. That's OFPFarms.com, Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com. Next up, a word from our friends, our good friends at Armra Colostrum, tryarmra.com/LFA-TV, TRYARMRA.com/LFA-TV. You guys know that I am always on the lookout for ways to strengthen my immunity, my gut health, improve my fitness and metabolism, and enhance my skin and hair radiance. That is what Armra Colostrum can do for you and more. Colostrum is the very first nutrition that we receive in life, and it contains all the essential nutrients that our bodies need in order to thrive. You can reactivate your hair growth. You can help your skin start to glow. You can fortify your gut health, ignite your metabolism, and you can fuel your fitness performance and recovery. You know, they always say when your gut does better, everything else does better. Try taking it. I wasn't taking colostrum. I started taking it. Stuff has really helped me out. So try it out. Tryarmor.com/LFA-TV, TRYARMRA.com/LFA-TV for up to 30% off of your first order. That's TRYARMRA.com/LFA-TV, Tryarmor.com/Lima, Foxtrot, Alpha Tango, Victor. All right. I want to get into something real fast. I don't know if you guys and gals are on X. Some of you are. Some of you aren't. Oh, we lost signal. We're down. We're going to freeze. Yeah, we're going to be down. We got an issue. All right. Put everyone in the chat. Please tell everyone to hold on tight. It's going to be an issue. We've lost connection. So, I'm going to let everybody know. Internet issues should resolve soon. Yeah, we dropped a bunch of frames. Again, this is one of those things where there's nothing I can do about it. So we're just going to have to, we're completely off right now, and it's on, off, and hopefully it resolves. This hasn't happened in a couple months, and I don't know if this is a Rumble thing or if this is our thing. I'm pretty sure this is our thing. So it's unfortunate, but it is coming back right now. So I don't know if you guys follow me over on X. If you're over on X, tell them give it about 2 or 3 minutes and it should resolve. Okay. Because, we're back to green. So in a couple of minutes, it should be all right. The sound should be okay, but the video is going to be a little choppy. We've been through this before and we should be all right. And hopefully in about 2 or 3 minutes, everything should be resolved. All right. I don't know if you guys follow me over on X. If you do, you probably saw me take a boot to a hornet's nest last night. Just something I like to do. It's one of my favorite pastimes, obviously. As you know, the Groypers are no fan of yours truly. Those will be the followers of the Democrat known as Nick Fuentes. They did not like the fact that I called him out last night. That's not my problem. That's theirs. That video that I put a clip from our show has gotten, I think, over 400,000 views now on the platform, calling him out for the Democrat scumbag that he actually is. And they're not happy about it. That's fine. Then late last night, I started seeing other people, some more reliable folks who commentate on the space, etc. I started seeing even more people posting about Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie, apparently, he likes to talk about people getting $7,000 per post, right? The whole AIPAC thing. All of a sudden, you see him talking about AIPAC is giving people money and, you're paid to say this. He blocked me after accusing me to be paid of saying something because, once you don't have an actual retort to what I'm saying, you have to accuse me of being a quote unquote paid propagandist, right? So here's Thomas Massie. We took a look at some of this. Did you see some of Thomas Massie's donors? And if video is working, great. If not, then give it a little bit of time. I'll leave it on your screen for a little bit. Thomas Massie has some of the same donors as members of the squad, like Ilhan Omar, like Ro Khanna, like Ro Khanna, I don't think is a member of the squad. Cori Bush is a member of the squad, though. And it's this interesting family with the last name of Marouk. I don't know who these people are, but the Marouk family, apparently, if you look at Massie, the first four lines of donations of Thomas Massie for Congress, Zaid Marouk, Sam Marouk, Raneem Marouk, and Mohammed Marouk are all giving Thomas Massie how much? $7,000. Isn't that freaking interesting? So in the first four lines there, you see $28,000 being donated to Thomas Massie for Congress from a guy who is also someone who donates to the Anti-Zionist America PAC, the Citizens Against AIPAC Corruption, Marjorie Taylor Greene for Congress, Bowman, Jamal Bowman, that's the fire alarm guy for Congress, Ilhan Omar for Congress, Ro Khanna for Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene's PAC, Cori Bush for Congress. Isn't that interesting? Find that to be very interesting. Now, look, I don't have a problem with American citizens donating to Thomas Massie. What I have an issue with is the hypocrisy. Okay? You can't take money from Jews. You can't take money from AIPAC, but you can take money from these people. Interesting. Perhaps, just like how Thomas Massie took money from the founder of IPAC, which is a political action committee that is trying to help members of the Democratic Socialists of America take power. IPAC, which is a political action committee which wants to abolish ICE. Now, perhaps that's why Thomas Massie didn't want to vote for that funding bill, the DHS funding bill. Perhaps that's part of it. It's interesting, you could assume a motive when somebody is being given money, when their campaign is receiving money from AIPAC, all the people online love to assume motive. Oh, they're going to do Israel's bidding. They're Israel first. But when Thomas Massie receives money from what looks to be pretty anti-Zionist Muslims, no, you can't attribute that to why he would be against the Iran conflict. You can't say that that's a motive because, no, it's just Massie and he's just principled. I think I know what his guiding principle is, and that's money. Money and clicks. Ladies and gentlemen, I was right about Andrew Tate. I was right about Myron Gaines. I was right about Nick Fuentes. And I'm right about Thomas Massie. And sooner or later, there will be an I told you so clip of this show that I'm sure gets shared many, many times on social media. And I'm not saying I'm the only person who's right about Thomas Massie. All right? But when it comes to issues like this, the track record's pretty damn good. Massie is in it for clicks. Massie is in it for clout. Massie is in it for cash. And he is owned by his donors. And if you don't like the fact that I'm doing that, well, maybe you shouldn't do that first. By the way, to those who want to prop up the Ayatollah, who Thomas Massie referred to as a religious leader, here's some of that religion that the Ayatollah, it's on your screen. It's pretty small. You may have to go full screen mode, maybe zoom in if you can. Here's some of the religious teachings that the Ayatollah took part in. These are some of his writings. Problem number 12. This is in the marriage section of his writings. Intercourse with a woman is not allowed unless she attains the age of 9 years, regardless whether the marriage is permanent or temporary. 9 years. They're so strict over there. You know, once the girl is 9 years old, you can have intercourse with her. There is, however, no objection in other enjoyments like touching lasciviously, hugging, and rubbing the thighs, even with a suckling infant. If a person has had intercourse with a girl before she has attained the age of 9 years, but it has not resulted in, I don't know, it's one of these words, he shall not be subjected to any punishment. Okay. Interesting. Want to remind me who's protecting pedophiles again? Let me ask you that question. You've got people weeping over the death of the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah said that you can have sex with a girl as long as she's 9 years or older. The Ayatollah wrote personally that while intercourse with a girl under the age of 9 is not permitted, you can touch a girl sexually. You can rub her thighs, even if that girl is a quote-unquote suckling infant. You want to tell me who's covering for pedophiles again? Because I'm going to go with the people who are weeping over the Ayatollah being killed. I'm going to go with the people who are trying to position the Ayatollah as some sort of religious leader and not a brutal dictator who allows pedophilia in his country, as per his own writings. I'm going to say the people covering for that sick, twisted cult of a society, those are the real pedophile defenders. And just like the whole $7,000 thing, hey, Mr. Massey, you got $7,000 4 times from this Marouk family. I think it's time to stop with the projection. Maybe. I wouldn't be shocked if people like Thomas Massey and folks who run in those circles are also projecting when they accuse other people of covering for pedophiles, considering they're all weeping over the death of the Ayatollah, when the Ayatollah has made many, many exceptions for some of the most brutal, graphic, and disgusting incidents of pedophilia in his country. 9 years old? Are you serious? Give me a break. People ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You got no principles. You have no values. You have nothing. You have nothing but your internet accounts. Do you understand me? You have nothing but social media. Nothing. These Fuentards that are out there. Oh, Nick just doesn't like pedophile protectors. Nick Fuentes quite literally said Epstein wasn't a pedophile because 14-year-olds are sexually mature. That is, in its boldest, the defense of one of the world's worst pedophiles. You want to tell me, oh, you're covering for an Israeli pedophile ring? He's quite literally doing that by saying 14-year-olds are sexually mature, and therefore, having sex with a 14 or 15-year-old is not pedophilia. He said it, not me. I didn't say it. You people don't have values, morals, guiding principles. Your guiding principle is clicks, cash, and clout. The 3 C's. That's all it is. And that goes for all the doomers, all the black pillars who have rules for thee but not for me. Thomas Massey can take all sorts of money from Democrat donors and these Muslim donors who clearly, have an agenda, whatever. He can then vote like those donors influence them. You'll tell me, no, that's his principles. That's his principles. Oh, okay. Got it. But when Donald Trump has been speaking for more than the last decade about not allowing Iran to have a nuclear weapon, that he'd bomb the sugar honey iced tea out of them, now all of a sudden he's going back on things he said he would do. I know he said no new wars. I know he said no regime change wars. And then all of a sudden it was put on his desk that things were about to get real bad. He thought Iran was going to attack, and we've toppled a regime, and we've toppled and killed A guy who has allowed this type of crap in his country, intercourse with babies, for the last 40 or so years. Khomeini took power in 1989, 10 years after Khomeini, no relation, for the first, 10 years of the new Islamic regime. People don't have values. Give me a break. These people are disgusting. So again, to anybody who wants to tell me to stop the infighting, go somewhere else. Because I don't want to be on the same team as people who defend that crap. You get it? Are we totally clear here? Thomas Massey's a Republican. Give me a break. Wake up. Toughen up. Stop the infighting. Some of the softest, baby crap soft. Republicans always fight with each other. I'm not fighting with other Republicans. I'm fighting with wolves in sheep's clothing. You're falling for the fact that they're on our side. I'm not. And every single time we confront people like this and I deal with the Stop the Infighting Karens, about a month and a half later, I come back to those Stop the Infighting Karens and I go, so, how's it feel to be wrong again? Listen, sometimes when you have to rid the body of cancer, you take out some healthy tissue. It grows back. It'll come back. It's the cost of doing business sometimes. This movement's either going to survive or it's going to get eaten alive by these cannibals, and I'm not going to let that happen. Nobody here is going to let that happen. All right, let's move on to. I took a little bit of time there, more time than I wanted to, but that just had to be addressed. Let's go to Kristi Noem. We kind of addressed the Kristi Noem situation already. Kristi Noem has been removed from her position. Is that a more accurate description than saying she was fired? Maybe we could play semantics. I'm not here to do that. Donald Trump says, I thank Kristi Noem for her service at Homeland Security. And he announced that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st, 2026. The current Secretary, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to the Special Envoy for the Shield of Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere we're announcing on Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank Kristi for her service at Homeland. This is all effective March 31st. Mark Wayne Mullen, obviously now going to be the new Department of Homeland Security Secretary, effective March 31st. He will be confirmed. He's got a lot of good, friendships and relationship in the Senate. I think ultimately this is an upgrade at the position. I think he carries a little bit less, a lot less baggage than Kristi Noem. Again, it's not personal. It's not to say that I think Kristi Noem had to be removed or that this was a pressing issue, but she had a brutal couple of days in front of the House and Senate committees. The $220 million ad campaign that her boss didn't sign off on, that's not a good way to keep your job. So you lose on that front as well. And unfortunately for Kristi Noem, her time as DHS Secretary has come to a close. Is what it is. I think Mark Wayne Mullen is going to be an upgrade at the position. We shall see what happens. Okay. Let me ask another question. Because we're going to do calls in about 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Or 15 or 20 minutes or so. You know how it usually goes. Ken Paxton, John Cornyn, we had this conversation yesterday, and I said, and Jeremy said this too, a lot of people kind of got the read on this the other day, was that the SAVE Act may be at play here. Now, Ken Paxton said he would not drop out of the race, but he said he would consider dropping out if it meant that the SAVE Act could be passed. So I ask again, would you put yourself in the shoes of Donald Trump? And we're going to hypothetically deal in certainty here. I know that's not the case. I know that's not the case in real life and that you can't trust a lot of these people. But hypothetically speaking, hypothetically speaking, it's like I'll equate it to this. It's like imagine you're waiting for a job offer from a company you want to work for, right? You're an IT guy, you want to work for this massive company. They're going to offer you $200,000 a year, $250,000 a year, $250,000 a year to work for this company. But and you go, I would take that job in a heartbeat, right? But you don't know some of the other issues, and maybe it's longer hours, or maybe you have to move to a state with a higher income tax, these other issues. But 30,000 feet. So this is a 30,000 foot question. Okay? Put yourself in the shoes of Donald Trump. If you thought it was a certainty or a near certainty that the overwhelming probability was that it was a very good chance that the SAVE Act would be passed by the Senate and therefore signed into law by Donald Trump. If you thought it was a certainty or near certainty that the SAVE Act would pass if you endorsed John Cornyn, do you do it? Because Ken Paxton is basically saying you do it. Paxton said the Save America Act is the most important bill the United States Senate could ever pass, and I am committed to helping President Trump get it done. I would consider dropping out of this race if Senate leadership agrees to lift the filibuster and passes the Save America Act. I'll tell you what. I love this from Ken Paxton. I really do. This guy's putting country over himself. This is a selfless thing that he's doing here. He's not even in the Senate, and he's trying to negotiate a way for this very important piece of legislation to get passed. I respect the hell out of this. This is great. Now, we talked about this yesterday too. If Ken Paxton does not drop out of the race and Donald Trump endorses John Cornyn, that does not mean that you have to vote for John Cornyn. You vote for who you want to vote for, who you believe will most adequately serve your best interests and most adequately fulfill your requests. Just because somebody has the endorsement of the president, who we all love and respect very much, just because somebody has the endorsement of the president, that does not mean you have to vote the way the president wants you to vote. This does not make you disloyal. This does not make you a traitor. This does not make you, not MAGA. You have the right to vote for whoever you want to vote for. Okay? You have the right to vote for whoever you want to vote for. And I encourage you to exercise that right. Donald Trump endorsed Tony Gonzalez in Texas. Texas's 23rd congressional district. Granted, it was before all the craziness came out about him, all the nasty stuff. Tony Gonzalez last night just dropped out. Brandon Herrera is going to be that's the AK guy on X. Brandon Herrera is going to be the Republican nominee out of there. That's a Trump endorsement that was beaten at the polls because the people voted for somebody else. It's not a shot at the president. I'm just telling you that the people, you still have your own free will. If Ken Paxton refuses to drop out of the race and Donald Trump endorses John Cornyn, that does not mean you have to vote for John Cornyn. And if you say, I'm still voting for Paxton, and anyone tries to bully you otherwise and say, oh, well, you're not MAGA, you're going against this, you're a traitor. No, you are an American. You don't have to do everything the government says to do. I'm not telling you to counter-signal the president. I'm just telling you, if you don't want to vote for somebody who Trump endorses, don't feel guilty because you have a different opinion. This is America. All right. So there you go. Where should we go from here? Why don't we go to a word from our friends over at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. We will reset. And then I want to talk to you about a couple of we haven't done this, ICE arrests over the last, I did it on 1210 the other day, but some ICE arrests in some sanctuary cities over the last couple of days. Here we go. First, a word from our friends at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
I'm sure by now you've heard that silver went up 160% last year, 2025. I bought this silver for $22 an ounce. It's now worth almost $100. And we and experts think that silver is going to get up to about $200 an ounce. Palladium and platinum were stuck at $900 an ounce for like over a year, or in that area. Now they're up over $2,000. Gold is approaching $5,000 an ounce. If you have ever thought about putting some or all of your retirement or nest egg or savings or just buying bullion in precious metals, now's the time to do it. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Go leave your name, your email, and your phone number. Schedule a time to talk to the folks over at Golden Crest Metals. Get your free gold guide today, and make sure you tune in on Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the Crest Report, where we dive deep into precious metals, why they're doing what they're doing, and where we expect them to go. It is like insider trading. Nancy Pelosi knows about that. We don't. It's just inside information. It's not even really that. It's called knowledge. Get yours today and get a part of gold, silver, palladium, and platinum and diversify your portfolio today. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. One more thing to, you hear about the base is fractured. MAGA is dead. Trump is losing his base. Not so fast. Here's, again, CNN poll, Harry Enton. They don't necessarily want to report this news. Take a look.
Republicans love Donald Trump more than any president's own party supporters loved him at this particular point. Just take a look here. Okay, own party supporters, 21st century presidents, own party approval, about at this point in the second term. Bush was at 77%. Obama was at 77%. Look at this. 86% of Republicans approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing at this point. That is higher than either Obama or Bush had within their own party at this point. Trump's magic touch has not seemed to wear off yet when it comes to the Republican base.
And what kind of approval are we talking about here?
Okay, so we're talking about overall approval here. How about the strongly approved, not just like, but love. Okay, we're going to look at these same presidents again. Strong approval among your own party's base. What you see here is Trump is the only one who gets a majority at this point in their presidency. Obama was at 48%. Bush was at 47%. You see here Trump at 53%. Not as high as overall approval rating, but still getting a majority of the Republican base, at least in the average of polls, to say that they still really, really, really like him.
Okay.
Donald Trump has a strong approval rating in his own party, better than Bush, better than Obama in their second terms. So we want to explain to me why you think the base is fractured? Are there disagreements? Yeah, there's disagreements. There's always going to be disagreements. No one's ever going to be with everyone else in lockstep 24/7. For example, I think if I was Donald Trump and I found out that endorsing John Cornyn would mean the SAVE Act would get passed, I would endorse John Cornyn because that's more important to me than one Senate seat. Some folks in the chat, some folks who I talk to disagree. They say, you should never endorse the rhino. Fine. That's fine. That's okay. We can have that conversation. I don't have an issue with that. So we can have conversations inside the tent. When I start to have a problem, though, is when your conversations inside the tent are influenced by things that aren't real, like that. Okay? It's the Jews. When everything is the Jews' fault, then it's okay. So as Dan has been saying, Bongino has been saying, your inputs aren't realistic, so your outputs are trash. That's when I start to say, all right, well, we don't need to have this conversation because you're essentially, you're asking, I'm just asking questions. What if water really isn't wet? Well, that's a stupid question to ask. You can ask it, but I'm going to call you an idiot. All right, let's get to some ICE arrests here. ICE agents arrested illegal aliens, sex offenders, rapists, fentanyl dealers in some of these sanctuary cities. Let's go through some of these names. I know this is one of our favorite exercises. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested illegal alien, sex offenders, rapists, fentanyl dealers, and burglars across sanctuary jurisdictions this week. Quote, contrary to what Senators, the aptly named Dick Durbin and Alex, who J.D. Vance called Jose, Padilla, said in Secretary Noem's Senate hearing, nearly 70% of illegal aliens arrested by ICE have criminal records. Just yesterday, ICE arrested MS-13 gang members, child predators, and drug traffickers, according to DHS's Lauren Biss. Among those illegal aliens arrested this week is Gasper Florentino of Mexico, Florentino is a MS-13 gang member who was previously convicted of aggravated sexual battery of a victim 13 to 14 years old. Again, according to Nick Fuentes, 13 to 14 years old, sexually mature. Florentino, MS-13 gang member, convicted, not charged with, convicted of sexual battery, aggravated sexual battery of a victim 13 to 14 years old, as well as rape by force, threat, or intimidation in the sanctuary city of Fairfax, Virginia. Likewise, in the sanctuary city of Chicago, Illinois, ICE agents arrested Juan Leonardo Alvarado Gonzalez. That's a four-bagger.
Holy mackerel.
Of Guatemala.
How do they not lose oxygen to the brain just saying their name?
It's tough, right? It's a tough one.
God.
It's a tough one. He was previously convicted of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child. Want to remind me again who's covering for pedophiles? Anybody? Bueller? Jan Carlos Marte Morel of the Dominican Republic was arrested in the sanctuary state of Massachusetts after having been convicted of conspiracy to distribute and to possess with intent to distribute fentanyl. Fentanyl's not, counterfeit cigarettes, That stuff can kill you.
Yeah, just a very little bit.
A very small amount can kill you.
Yeah, it's scary.
So we want to keep him in the country?
No!
We want to keep him. Democrats want to keep him in the country. ICE agents arrested Rudy Uceda of El Salvador, previously convicted of criminal sale of a controlled substance in the sanctuary state of New York, while Minh Thai Son Tran of Vietnam, previously convicted on 3 counts of burglary, was arrested in the sanctuary city of Fairfax, Virginia. Those are the people the Democrats want to keep in your country. So I'm just putting that out there. They want to talk about, this is the Epstein administration, the administration covering for pedophile. You guys are the ones who quite literally are keeping folks who have been not just charged with, but convicted of sexual battery, aggravated sexual battery of a 13 to 14-year-old, predatory sexual battery of a child, fentanyl dealers, drug traffickers, and gang members. These are the people the Democrats want to keep in your communities. Remember, a week ago, would not stand up for American citizens over illegal aliens. Remember that. Remember that. Greg Think says Trump freed up Noem so she can primary Thune. Maybe. Could be. When is John Thune up? Do we know? When is John Thune up? Let's find out. When is John Thune up for re-election? John Thune is up for re-election in 2028, so that's not what happened there. Because Trump's term is over by then. So, I mean, it could be for the way future, but, I don't think it's in the short term. But who knows? All right, let's get to what do we want to do? Let's get to a word from our friends over at Silent. It's slnt.com/Sean, slnt.com. Then we'll do calls. And I want to hear your opinions on Paxton-Cornyn, right? Would you endorse, this is the question. If you were Donald Trump, now don't get confused with me asking it this way. I'm not asking, would you vote for Cornyn to pass the SAVE Act? I'm asking you to put yourself in the position of Donald Trump as the president of the United States. Would you endorse John Cornyn over Ken Paxton if you thought that it was a near certainty that doing so would result in the Save America Act being passed? That's the question. Would you do that? Okay. Quick word from our friends over at Silent. slnt.com/Sean, slnt.com/Sean, slnt.com/SHAWN. Let's face it, your phone is a tracking device between government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, and even those pesky cyber criminals. They're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint, and they're not asking. You know what they do, guys? They just take it. They take your data. I got some weird spam text the other day. Someone stole my data. That is why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals, including cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. No signal means no tracking, no remote access, and no breadcrumbs. It's the same technology that is trusted by special operations teams around the world. They use it to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now, that is available to you to protect your family, protect your freedom, and secure your digital footprint. Just drop your phone in a Silent Faraday sleeve, and then it's off the grid. It's completely silent. It's invisible to the outside world. From their backpacks to their sleeves to their crossbodies, Silent's patented technology gives you total control of your privacy. Just visit slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, to save 15% and get free shipping on qualifying orders. That is slnt.com/Sean. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay one step ahead. Silent.com, slnt.com. Silence the chaos. Go silent today. slnt.com/Sean, slnt.com/SHAWN. 631-527-4545. If and when you want to chime in, let me put that number right up on the screen for you, no matter where you're watching and listening from. 631-527-4545. It is time for calls. We're starting a couple minutes late, but not as bad as we usually do. We are starting about 3 minutes late for calls. Usually I'd like to do 45. It is 48. So there we go. 631-527-4545. If you'd like to chime in, we've got everything open and ready to go for you here. And are we in Mo territory yet?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, Bad Moon's very unhappy.
Oh, wow.
We're real low.
Interesting. Comments on Paxton and Cornyn, anything that you've got on your mind. By the way, an update from that case in Brooklyn of the Iranian assassin who is trying to take assassinate Donald Trump, or he was arrested for doing so. This Pakistani national is now saying that Iranian spies tried to recruit him. A Pakistani national accused of plotting to assassinate U.S. political leaders testified Wednesday that Iranian intelligence agents pressured him to take part in the scheme, claiming they directed him to target President Donald Trump. Asif Morshan, 47 years old, told a jury in Brooklyn court that he felt compelled to cooperate with their plans because his relatives were being threatened. Interesting. All right, we have a couple calls coming in here. One is loading up. Let's see if we can get this bad boy connected, and we will see what's going on. Oh, that one did not connect. All right, 631-527-4545, and this call now appears to be connecting, and we know who this is. This would be the great Heather in Kansas City. What's going on, Heather? How are you?
Hi there. Good. It is raining like cats and dogs outside and thundering, so we got some good weather today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys are getting pounded out there. Yep.
We are, yes. No, we're good here. I wanted to say that we are scheduled to vote out, hopefully, Emmanuel Cleaver in November this year.
Okay, very good.
He's been there for ages, and before knowing anything about him and the party, I probably voted for him not knowing anything, so now we're going to try to get him out. So
wow.
So he's been in there for a very long time. So
all right, well, good luck on doing that. Get it done.
On that. Yeah, and other than that, I mentioned to Brennan I'm starting teaching Spanish lessons to people now for a job. Since nobody's hiring me, I'm starting my own thing. So we're going to do that. So I started that this week, and, so that's going good. And, there we go. So I heard Mahomes is going to be back before week 1. So that's all.
Oh, that's a nice speedy recovery. There you go for the Chiefs there. There's a speedy recovery.
Yeah, and I think we get a first-round pick because we traded somebody, so we're getting first round.
The Chiefs made a trade? I didn't realize. I didn't know that.
We did.
Did you trade Taylor Swift or something? What happened?
I don't know. No, I think they're gonna keep her around for a minute.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So, but gosh, that's a good idea. I really like that idea because it probably works. But no, there's that, and then I've just been following all the stuff happening and everything in the Middle East. Our friend is safe that's over there, so he's safe at the moment, and his family.
Good.
We had friends that were dealing with the cartel in Mexico. They texted us on Sunday afternoon saying they were stuck in their church all day. They weren't allowed to leave. They said that if anybody stepped out of their homes after 2 o'clock, they'd be shot in the street.
Wow.
So the good thing about that is they had people coming in the church, and they were able to talk to people that came into the church because people were scared running off the street. So he took a video of the streets afterward, and he did get stopped, but they let him go, thankfully. So yeah, it's pretty scary down there right now for them. So.
All right, well, that's a scary update there, and hopefully everybody gets through it okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Heather, I want to tell you, we just hit 800, so you're on the line with me when we do Mo. All right, so Mo is out there. He is. So you got it. Thank you so much for the update, Heather. Appreciate it, and good luck with those elections, all right?
Thank you. You guys have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. You too, Heather from Kansas City. Here we go on to the next call that's coming in. We have a call connected. Who do we have on the line here? Hello.
It's Cody from Florida.
Hey, what's going on, Cody from Florida? What's happening?
Hey, I just want to touch base on the Ken Paxton, John Cornyn.
Sure.
Debacle.
Oh, we got a spotty connection there. Yeah, it dropped out. There it is. Unfortunate. That was Cody from Florida. I think I know what he's going to say. Cody, try and call us back. Sounded like there was maybe driving going on, maybe hitting them one of those dead zones. Unfortunately,
that's a noob move, Cody. You got to pull over.
You got to pull over.
You got to find a good spot.
No, Cody's got things to do. I'm sure that he's doing that. There you go. By the way, I mean, we do live calls once a week.
It gives people without a place to be heard a chance to be heard.
Strange.
I love it.
Whining going on about it, but that's okay. It's odd. To me, it just strikes me as odd. Oh, I'm muting it. Okay, well, you watch me, trying to read my lips? It's a weird exercise. All right, 631-527-4545, 631-527-4545. What else do we have on the radar here? Waiting for that call to come in. If you hear me, you can call. You can give us a call right back. Did you hear about this, by the way? This Democrat congressional representative. This Democrat congressional representative was apparently brought some sort of sex offender to the State of the Union. Department of Homeland Security called out three of them, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, John Hickenlooper, and Representative Seth Moulton. Moulton's guest, he brought an illegal alien, Marcelo Gomez da Silva. Gomez da Silva is an illegal alien who has no right to be in our country and committed to enforcing the law and fighting for the arrest, detention, and removal. Apparently that illegal was a sex offender. The Boston Herald over the summer did some digging into Gomez da Silva, who over the summer became an activist and celebrity of sorts among Democrats. The Moulton's illegal immigrant guest during the State of the Union address is referenced in police reports involving sexual assault and juveniles. Again, who is protecting pedophiles again? Tell me, because it's not the Republicans. All right, we have another call connecting here, 631-527-4545. You are connected. Hello, who do we have on the line?
Hey, it's Amy.
Amy, what's going on?
Hey, I just was going to chime in on the Paxton saga. I think what needs to happen is Cornyn needs to be endorsed by Trump to do the SAVE Act. Okay. And then he needs to fire Bondi and put Paxton in for Bondi.
I mean, that would be a dream scenario, right? If Pam Bondi, was on her way out, maybe he gets rid of her, puts Paxton in. I would like that. Yeah. I think that would be great. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I am with you on this. First of all, I'm with you on both of them. I'd like to see that happen. Number two is I'm with you on this. If I'm Donald Trump, again, this is not us saying you have to vote for John Cornyn because if you don't, the SAVE Act's not. That's not what anybody's saying. If I'm Donald Trump and I think it's a certainty that endorsing Cornyn gets me the SAVE Act, I endorse Cornyn and I get the SAVE Act.
Absolutely.
And by the way, that is That's what Paxton said, too. He said he'd drop out of the race if the SAVE Act gets passed, which is selfless, and I like that.
Oh, yeah, he's an honorable dude, for sure.
He is.
So, yep. Love the show, Sean. You guys are awesome. I watch you every day.
Thank you, Amy.
Went to Tennessee recently. You guys are awesome. I love Tennessee. We're from Nebraska.
It's a great
we
state.
love the mountains. The roads were crazy, but hey, we lived.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's not the
hopefully we'll get
roads,
down
it's
there
the
soon.
drivers on the roads here. They're a little suspect sometimes, but yeah.
Yep, a little sus. Yep, for sure. But you guys are awesome. Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Amy with her opinion on the Paxton-Cornyn saga. 631-527-4545. I do see somebody trying to give us a call here. Little bit of a failure to connect there. Again, yeah, I'm saying it. I think if I'm Donald Trump, and I think it is a certainty that the SAVE Act gets passed because the SAVE Act gets passed if I endorse John Cornyn, then I'm endorsing John Cornyn. It's that simple. It really is that simple. So, all right, we have another call connecting here. I'm going to try and get this one connected, and it's still connecting. Let's see here. Okay, we are connected now. Hello, who do we have on the line? Hello.
Hello, this is Emmeline in Florida. How are you, Sean?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm not doing too good. I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't understand why we think the Senate is going to do anything that they promised to do. No,
okay.
Cornyn should not be endorsed. No. That's like us bowing down to terrorists and negotiating, in my opinion.
You're not wrong in that, making a deal with people we can't trust is not necessarily a good deal, but what is the alternative? If you're Donald Trump and you're being told this is how the SAVE Act gets passed and this is how the filibuster gets either nuked or lifted or reinforced to pass the SAVE Act, what do you do? What do you do?
I get on my knees and pray, dude, because I'm telling you, I'm so glad that I'm not President Trump. I love the man. I used to live in New York. I've followed him since back in the 70s, and he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. So I pray for him every day, and I don't know, but I just don't trust these guys. I don't remember who said it not too awfully long ago. If I think it was President Trump. If we rooted out all the fraud in our Congress, we'd lose 90% of our Congress. I think.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, maybe we do.
Need to do that.
Maybe we do,
and the
but
Constitution gives us the right. I don't understand why we the people can't stand up and do what the Constitution tells us we have the right to do.
No, it's because a lot of people don't either have the time or they don't want to do it. They just don't want to put in the sweat equity, and that's part of the problem. You're a rare person having that attitude, and more people need to think like this. The one thing I'll say where I'll respectfully disagree is, well, not even respectfully disagree. If I was President Trump, as I said, I would go down the road of endorsing Cornyn if it meant giving the SAVE Act the chance to pass. And I get though what you're saying, like you can't believe these people. But if these are the people these are the ones that ultimately are going to control whether or not that gets passed, sometimes you got to give in order to get. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but if that's what's up for debate here, and that's what the stakes are and the terms are, then maybe you got to play ball. And Ken Paxton even said if that happens, he would drop out. Well, thank you for the call. We got to bounce. I just realized it's 10 o'clock, but thank you for the call and the discussion. I appreciate it.
Love you
thank
guys.
you.
Take
Thanks
care.
so much. Appreciate it. And that's the way America is. Differing opinions, respectful conversation. That's why I love it. That's why I love taking those calls. And that's why, it's a lot of fun to hear from everybody here from the LFA family. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Jeremy Harrell is up next here on rumble.com/LFA TV. Let's see. Yes. Make sure that you go anywhere you can where you get podcasts, guys. Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, all sorts of places like that. Search Ungoverned and hit subscribe. Oh, we're falling out again. So have a great rest of your day. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button on your way out. And Jeremy Harrell up next here, rumble.com/LFA TV. We'll see you next week on Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for your attention to this matter.